Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here in the group stage, we are into Game 2 of a 2-game series between Invictus Gaming and the Old Boys. Old Boys pulling out a new meta draft with a carry Leshrac and taking it to IG very early on in that game. Very high tempo, very fast paced, and we will be seeing a little bit more 6.84 new meta with, again, the Invoker ban as well as the Undying now taken out. IG feeling it's just a little bit too strong for them to deal with until they research it a bit more. But once again, thanks for tuning in. I myself am Blaze, and I am still joined by Skim Gaming. What do you think?
Feels like IG is actually not really adapting to the 6.8 format. It's more like they're still sort of drafting around what they just used to.
Well, it has been like 12 hours, too.
Yeah, I know.
I feel it's got to be a gradual approach. You can't just kind of go all new meta, like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's just pick all the heroes that were buffed and buy Aghanim Scepter on anybody. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like you still have to kind of play you a little bit and adjust gradually. Otherwise, you're just guaranteed to lose.
Oh yeah, sure, but it definitely felt like Old Boys was more prepared for this new patch because the heroes they picked and the way they picked them, it made a lot of sense. And it felt like IG was, if anything, just counterpicking them in terms of, oh, they have this, let's try this, you know? Yeah. And this like the Storm Spirit and Lion pick is just, you know, those are just safe heroes. You can always basically pick them, sort of. So nothing new, nothing exciting. Whereas Old Boys, they just go for the Lone Druid.
Definitely.
You know?
And along with that, the fact that Old Boys banned the heroes that they did actually shows a lot of understanding about how the drafts are going to play out too. Banning out heroes like Ancient Apparition and Lina in Phase 2 when they're picking up the Leshrac. Banning out the Sniper Phase 1. That's not a meta ban anymore. The Sniper is nerfed hard enough that it's not a meta ban. It's a strategy ban based on the fact that Sniper is amazing at holding high ground against things like Mass Serpent Wards and Tombstone. So they go ahead, they ban that out, and they go for a draft that follows suit. Now we see these heroes hitting the field, and they seem to have a pretty good idea that they don't want the Lone Druid to get picked off. So Lone Druid's going to be here, presumably as a safe lane farmer. I'm curious if he goes back to his off lane role at all. But we will be seeing Tide in the hands of IG. So Luo most likely picking that one up here. But Lone Druid, a lot of people are hyping up his Aghanim Scepter. I don't think we're going to see that for at least 40 minutes this game. What do you think about Lone Druid just overall? Obviously, he was pretty decent, and now he's better. Anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I think I've watched a lot of FPL recently, and even in 6.3, he was picked up quite... No, not frequently, but he was still picked up a lot more than he used to. And I think a lot of people just realize that in certain lineups, the hero still works, and he's still strong if you just, you know, I mean, it's not that bad of a hero for, like, what he is. I mean, he pushes a lot, he split pushes really well, and he's really strong. And with the Chen, I mean, it does look like they're going for another push thread. I mean, they did also ban out the AA, so maybe going for another push thread, and Lone Druid is a good hero at that. And yeah, I mean, sure, a lot of people hype up the Aghs, but like you said, it's very unlikely to see the Aghs before, like, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely like I would actually say it's more like an 8th or 9th item more than like like normally you see like, oh, when they're 6th or 7th slotted where they get one item to spare, but with 12 item slots, you really talk about more towards 7 and 8. We are going to be seeing that active push, and as a result, IG are going to pick up the Sniper. Again, this isn't about the hero being imbalanced, this is the hero being good on the defensive, good at holding high ground against heavy push and siege, and that's going to be an important thing against the Chen Lone Druid composition. Might go for a Maelstrom here because of all the creeps he's going to be trying to deal with. The splash damage would be really nice.
Yeah. Interesting that Old Boys still stuck to their whole strategy despite seeing the Tidehunter, because pushing high ground into Tidehunter is really difficult, and now that there's also a Sniper, I'd be curious to see if Old Boys may actually deviate from their plan and go like, okay guys, yeah, we still want to push, but at the same time, let's also pick something that we can just fall back on in case this whole pushing thing doesn't really work out for us.
So I'm trying to think of IG's last support, their 5th pick here. They've already got the Lion, who's their all-around bread and butter. He can do everything. So they have a lot of flexibility on what they want to pick up for their last one. What's the best counter-pushing support that you can think of? Does the Sand King have the potential to kind of get that early Blink Dagger and do a lot of good things on the defensive here? Or are there any other heroes you can bring to mind?
I mean, yeah, Sand King is good. I think Witch Doctor also does a decent job. They could also go back to the Jakira that they just had, which was actually quite strong to just, fend off those pushes. And especially considering now there's also a lot of minions to deal with, Jakira is even stronger, so I wouldn't object to that, There's definitely a lot of options for them.
And of course, we're going to see more of that push lineup here. It's the Aura Cleave. Chen will pick up some Aura Creeps. Venge will have that Vengeance Aura, which will enhance the base damage of a lot of the heroes that we're working with, including the Syllabear's Spirit Bear. So that's going to be a nice enhancement tool. Obviously, the physical damage pressure, earlier Roshan. Do you think they could even add the classic Beastmaster to this? Go the Lone Druid carry. Well, then they are weird on the supports and mid. Okay, never mind. So they need a mid hero, really. There's no way to really adjust that. I don't see.
Well, technically, you could run Beastmaster in mid. I mean, Fata on Cloud9, for example, does it. Like the Boar is really strong in a 1v1 situation, so they could technically run this, but I think it's too much focus on this whole push strategy if you also just pick up the Beastmaster right now, and I think you're just very weak in other aspects. Yeah, sure, the war is still nice, but in just big team fights, you're expected to sort of lose against Tidehunter, Stormspirit, and Lion, who are just really strong in team fights. So maybe just go for a hero that just maybe just another carry.
But I'm just gonna say that the Lifestealer ban seems completely out of left field. Like they have no way of running a Lifestealer in the lanes unless they have a support Tidehunter and Lifestealer goes off lane, which just still seems really bad. But yeah, anyways, Invictus Gaming goes with what we were thinking of, a defensive support with a powerful ultimate, and they go for the Witch Doctor. But here's a hero that I was actually quite surprised wasn't prioritized more in these games here. I wasn't gonna critique it because I have yet to play the new Centaur, but the item progression of Aghanim Scepter actually suits Centaur's general item build really well, and along with that, it seems like just an incredibly powerful thing to have on your side. Centaur in general, his return is a little bit weaker as far as getting harassed back, but generally speaking, Centaur is a lot stronger this patch, and I expected him to be a little bit more prevalent. But now we're going to see him stampeding along with some Centaurs of Chen, some Bears. I mean, this is just going to be the whole army of creeps running at IG and perhaps even through the cliffs.
Yeah, I like it. Centaur is, like you said, I think in Centaur's item build there used to be a bit of a void because sometimes, I mean, you always want to go for that blink, and at some point you kind of want to hard. There's a lot of items that you kind of can build. There's never really an item that you definitely need to build in every game for Centaur outside of the blink. So I feel like the Aghanim sort of like fills a void there, and it just. The stats are all nice. I mean, he does have mana problems, so the Aghanim Scepter solves a lot of issues, and it's a nice pickup for sure. It's interesting to see how this is going to pan out, and looks like this. I don't know. Is this a carry Shaker? Carry Venge? Carry Venge, probably.
It's an off-lane Earthshaker. It's a mid Centaur, I think. I have to reconnect real quick so I don't see where they're moving for the lanes, but YYF picked up the Centaur, DD picked up the Shaker, so I was thinking it might be that mid Centaur. It's a little weird, but it is possible, and Zhou gets pulled a Tango, which doesn't really help us too much more. Maybe they could go safe lane Centaur and mid Druid? I don't know. It's weird no matter how you look at it, but we're going to see a clash here. Early on, Burning is completely caught out of position. Oh, this is the second time I've seen this, where Burning essentially runs at them with his ranged glass cannon carry. It happened 2 days ago with his Luna. He fed First Blood so damn fast, and I have no idea why he keeps on doing that, just going into the opposition as if he's the frontliner when he's far from it on the sniper.
Yeah, this is not what you want to happen. Especially since YF also got the First Blood. That's going to be a nice gold boost for him. They're also going to give away, it seems like both bounty runes. It's not a good start for
Wow,
IG.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're going to get the bounty rune on DD's Earthshaker in the off lane here. He's going to be beyond halfway to level 2. And then we're also going to see it on the Lone Druid, who is going to be going to the mid lane. So, yeah, I knew that the Centaur would be kind of more farm reliant here, but it seems to be better to have the Lone Druid go up against the Storm Spirit in the mid rather than that Centaur. So we're going to be seeing this kind of more standardized Blink Dagger safe lane farmer. We see that sometimes in the Brewmaster or the Axe. Well, we're seeing it here on the Centaur. And this leaves Lone Druid to kind of 1v1, or if you count the bear, it's almost a 2v1 in how you can kind of micromanage it.
Yeah, but I think Ferrari should be able to do just fine. I mean, Midland Druid is nothing completely new. We've seen it before, and I believe it was Ferrari versus Burning when Burning was back with DK. So I think this is something that he should be using. Oh, nice Fisher. He's
that's a really good Fisher. He's blocked out completely, and DD could just go for the body blocks here, but instead he goes for a right click. The cask will come through, and that's going to be a problem here, just bouncing back and forth. The bear already dropping down to 260 HP, and the resummon doesn't come out for 20 seconds. But Cheesebug will be cut up by the Dark Troll Summoner. The right clicks will come through, but the bear cannot tower dive, or it would be going down, and Cheesebug, he lives with 15 HP. Oh man, that was such a close call. Good rotation from the Chen, but even with a nearly maxed roll on the Test of Faith, it's not enough to bring down the Witch Doctor.
Very early rotation, I like it, from Long DD.
He did that intentionally, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, it's first blood is for the old boys, but the second kill is just going to be a fool's gold or false promise for the side of the old boys. They're still kind of progressing gradually. The Witch Doctor, he didn't have any gold to lose, so he goes ahead and does take a spill there. Let's look at the other lane, since obviously the mid lane is something that old boys are going to be prioritizing a lot, and we're going to have plenty of time to talk about it. But for now, Faith, getting some pulls off here. Doesn't double up the pull, though, as if they're going to push this tower, but it's only a melee creep that ends up surviving thanks to the fact that the troll heals so long, so maybe just doesn't make much of a difference for the creep equilibrium. But Burning here, running around in circles, is going to be able to farm in this position he wants to under the tower and build up his last hits, and essentially a free farm lane. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is a little bit different here. Centaur is going to be building up the early Tranquil Boots, it looks like. It's going to be the Venge to help him out against the Tide, but Tide is still getting his levels. Tide is level 3. Earthshaker, despite the bounty rune, is barely even to level 2. So it seems like Lua is getting a lot more out of this lane than the Shaker would.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Shaker has been sitting mid most of the time. He also had to walk back to the base after he engaged on the mid lane, so it's a lot of time wasted for him. And
okay. Well, reconnecting in. I have no idea if I'm being DDoSed or what, but
to everybody on the stream, if the stream is working right now, please give us a feedback. Yeah, this is me streaming now because Blaze's internet is kind of messed up right now. You did miss a bit of stuff. There was a huge team fight in the Radiant jungle where IG tried to go for a smoke play, but old boys just better counter initiation with Fisher, Echo, and just the Centaur being generally super strong. Zhao immensely farmed, has the Radiance working towards the AC, and right now old boys has a commanding lead if we just look at the net worth. And XP is not so much, but you know, still definitely in favor of old boys. IG, they do have their crucial items up. They have a Blink on the Tidehunter, for example. They have a Midas on the Witch Doctor, who's, for them, hopefully transitioning into an Aghanim soon. But, oh, there's an initiation from OF. Blink into Cheesebug. Cheesebug is dead. Yeah, there's some nice ravage, though. Ferrari jumps in, gets snatched on Long DD. Long DD is supposed to be falling. Echo Slam countering, going on Burning. Burning is still alive, though, and pops the Mask of Madness, tries to run away, and just dies. Ferrari and Lou, the only ones alive, and
man, old boys, they're doing some amazing work here, just running all over them. Cheesebug will get a nice death ward off, but yeah, just great control overall from old boys. Their aggression is really working out right now. I mean, obviously this net worth advantage is starting to pull ahead in their favor, and the Radiance is only going to make things more difficult for IG to deal with. And soon enough, AC on the bear and all these other items, the Lone Druid is just getting rich. I mean, his net worth is so far above heroes like Storm and Sniper that it's going to be really difficult for them to compete in the long term. I mean, the Blink Dagger from Lua, that's nice, and the buyback play there was the right call for some kills, but yeah, I'm not so sure. Is your mic alright?
I think it is. Should be.
It just kind of exploded in my ears. I'm not sure if that hit the stream too.
Ooh. Hope it is not.
Production value.
Hopefully this makes it better a bit.
Yeah, it's just like it did a bit of an explosion now. I'm just hearing like half static, half you.
Okay. I may actually switch to another mic. Yes, I have two. I'm fancy like that.
Man, this is just turned into a panic stream. Holy crap! This has gotten awkward quick, guys. I am really sorry. I don't know. Obviously, if it's DDoS, it's half out of my hands with people being assholes, and half my fault because I'm not covered, and that's going to change as soon as I can. I actually have the afternoon off, so I can just kind of work on getting proxies up and stuff like that. But in the meantime, what are we looking at here for this game? Obviously, you're working on your microphone, so let's just say right now, Old Boys, they're holding firm in their push lineup. They're taking early advantages, but high ground is going to be where IG might still have a bit of point of leverage. I mean, we saw how powerful that Death Ward was. The Blink Ravage is still there, and obviously Sniper is just the classic high ground defender. So I still feel that Old Boys will have their biggest troubles ahead of them when it comes down to breaking down that tier 3 tower. The Lone Druid can just send his bear to the high ground, but they still can poke that down piece by piece, throw out hexes and casks to disable it while the Sniper right-clicks it through. And I do feel like that's going to be kind of making it difficult for the Lone Druid to do more than just a little bit of chip damage every single time his Summon Spear Bear is off cooldown.
By the way, YOF did not go for the Ags.
Yeah.
He did opt for the BKB, but you know, BKB is also pretty good, and did make sure that he could just freely roam in the last fight, and he's still working towards the Axe. He should have it pretty soon as well. Yep, pretty much halfway there.
I think it's important for his initiation to have the BKB active so he doesn't get hexed as soon as he jumps, because Faith is definitely the type of support who will pre-cast that hex ready for you to jump in. And then, of course, if the Stormwind Orchid, that would be a huge problem too. And the Ravage, of course, stuff like that. So I think the BKB is a nice pickup first, and then the Aghanim Scepter is a great follow-through. Like, he's still going to have all that utility, it just comes out a little bit later.
Speaking of items, there's also finally a Blink on the line. He's been starving a lot just to get that in time. And looks like IG won't even be... Actually, now they will be able to trade the tier 1 at least, but... meanwhile, Old Boys is just gonna chip away at this tier 3 mid.
Alright, so, I mean, this fortification, that is a huge cliff to pop right this second, but they're going to get the stun out onto Faith. Nice BKB usage to guarantee the kill, and without a Lion, I feel like there's much more potential for them to just walk in everything up to the high ground. The cask dissipates, and now the neutral creeps can kind of make their move forward. They've got the mechanism, they've also got Hand of God, and these creeps are still kind of standing around, but as soon as this next creep wave comes in, I think they're going to try to breach in full, but you never know, up against the one Shrapnel, up against the Ravage, it's a little bit risky, and it looks like they're just going to go back to controlling the map.
Yeah, they did lose one bear, so this may have played in their decision-making, because if they had lost that bear a second time, that would have been huge for IG as well, so maybe just want to play cool, just want to wait until that cooldown is back up again, and yeah, as you said, just take control of the map. I mean, there's no need for Old Boys to hesitate, considering how good their lineup is just sieging high ground anyway. And if they secure the enemy jungle, they just make sure that they can starve out IG.
So A20 has picked up one of the new items, and it's actually pretty interesting here. Combining together the Talisman of Evasion with the Medallion of Courage, you can give an ally a boost of 30% armor, or sorry, 30% evasion and 10 armor temporarily. And that is actually huge for the Spear Bear. You just put that on the bear constantly and he'll siege away, no problem. You can also put it on a focus target and they will get a miss chance as well as an armor debuff, so that's pretty sweet too. But I think the best way to use it is to try to keep it on the bear when he's sieging.
Yeah, just buff the bear as much as you can and just make sure that it's super difficult to kill him. Could you potentially see this in like some sort of draft, like where you just draft the whole buff lineup around the bear? Have like a Magnus, have like an Ogre Magi?
Oh, we've seen it before, yeah. The Empower Bloodlust on the Spirit Bear. We have absolutely seen that before. The Vengeance Aura is nice for it too. Yeah, it's just kind of trying to make the most of a specific individual unit and just kind of steroid him up to be a fighting force. This was definitely a legit strategy a few patches ago, and I can't see why it wouldn't work now.
Chen also has picked up a new item, the Guardian Greaves. His inventory looks empty, as if he hasn't actually farmed anything, when in fact these Guardian Greaves are so huge. Like, the fact that you can just pop a mech every, I don't know, what is it? Okay, 45 seconds, but still, considering it doesn't cost any mana anymore, pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the mech and the arcane boots just combined together, much more efficient, and then he gets a cool passive along with it. When he drops down to 20% or less HP, he essentially becomes Timbersaw and gets plus 15 armor and plus 15 HP regen. So he's pretty legit as far as surviving, and long enough to at least get his Hand of God and Greaves out. usually the magical damage is going to come first, and then the right clicks are going to finish you off with IG's lineup. So there could be a lot of value in the Grievous passive, but of course it's all about that efficiency.
Now again, Old Boy's sieging high ground with the bear. They even send him back to just reaching up a few hundred HP, and now the Rex are exposed.
Yeah, they're gonna go on the racks here, but now trying to force the swap onto somebody. Burning is the target they want to swap. 820 is level 11. They just jump in with YYF. He didn't BKB though. So we're gonna see the Ravage come through, and now YYF is gonna be popping the BKB, getting the double edge out onto Luo. He's down for the count. That Ravage just didn't do enough because the sniper was under so much pressure trying to survive. Venge got the swap off, and down he goes, and now the Ravage means nothing. Faith goes down. Blink Echo Slam coming in. DD locks them down. 3 are dead. The melee mid plane of racks are gone. And with that, IG are going to tap out. This has been a 15,000 net worth advantage, 7,500 experience advantage. Old Boys taking the game 21-6. And there's that microphone again, unfortunately. But once again, guys, I wanna sincerely apologize for this broadcast. What ended up happening. I feel like the network issues are something that were temporarily out of my control, but I assure you guys that with proxies and stuff, if it is DDoS related, it won't be something that you guys can expect from me in the future, because I'm going to get that covered, and then there should be no problems along those lines. If it other stuff, obviously the production stuff from Skim's end, whether it's stream quality, microphone stuff, that's just because he's stepping up, he's helping me out, and I really appreciate that, dude. That's really awesome. But
no problem, dude. I think you're breaking up a bit.
Okay, so I don't know if my internet's messing up, if what
could
in the
be
world.
mine.
I'm still kind of topsy-turvy. We'll try to work things out, fix things up between game 2 and 3. And we'll be going into our next match soon on Beyond the Summit, one way or another. It's going to be Invictus Gaming versus Energy Pacemaker, but we'll take a few minutes to try to get things sorted out here on this end. And once again, sorry for that. But we'll be going into game 3 of iLeague, Chinese qualifier here in just a couple of minutes. So stay tuned, and I hope we'll get everything sorted.